Hi everybody, welcome back. I decided to make a video while I was doing this. I had a leaky fuel injector. I was driving along, the car was acting kind of funny, and I was smelling gasoline. I opened up the hood while the car was running, and I noticed that one of the injectors had gas pouring out all around it. And one of the O-ring seals had actually cracked. And so I went to the parts store. Now you can get kits to completely rebuild these. I didn't do that. What I did was I just got the seals. There's a bottom grommet and a top O-ring. They're real easy to change out. And I've already got this apart, but I'm going to explain how easy it is really to get to your fuel injectors. Basically all you have to do, remove this hose at the top, this ventilator hose, get it out of the way. This is the fuel rail right here. This is where the injectors live. There are two bolts that hold it down. There's one right there, and then there's one right there. Okay, you take those two bolts out, unplug the injectors. There's obviously, you got a 4-cylinder, you got 4 plugs, 4 injectors, 1 per cylinder. Unplug those, get them out of the way, and then all you have to do is grab the rail and lift it up and over out of the way. Now the injectors, there's nothing other than the rubber seals that hold them in place. You don't have to unscrew anything or unbolt anything else. Basically they just sit down in the rail like that. Okay, you want the plug part hanging over the backside, because when you flip it over, the plug will be directly on top. But all you do, once you get this removed, is just pop your injectors out and either change the injector or put new seals on it, whatever you got to do, and then pop them back in. And then once you do that, move the rail back over and be really careful. Make sure that those grommets fit and seat correctly and evenly back down in the manifold, in the head there. Once you've done all that, just kind of do everything in reverse. Put the bolts back on it. Make sure they're snug, but don't over torque them. You got plastic spacers, bushings here. Torque them down and plug them all back in, and you should be good to go. But we'll see what happens when I do this. Also, usually it's a good idea to dip your seals in a little gasoline to get them wet, but I didn't have any gas in my can, so what I did was I got a little bit of silicone grease and I greased them up, because if you put one in there and have to pull it back out and it's dry, these O-rings are not very strong, and I actually made that mistake. If you stick them in there and have to pull them back out, you stand a real good chance of tearing the O-ring and having to buy another set, which I did. But if you put a little lubrication on, this silicone is non-petroleum based, which used to, black rubber in cars was not ethanol resistant. That's why older cars that haven't been modified can't run newer gasoline, because the ethanol will eat the black rubber O-rings and seals in there, especially older cars with a carburetor that have an accelerated pump. But anyway, it's always, to me, it's a pretty good idea to use something like silicone. Silicone is non-petroleum based. You know, when I say petroleum based, something like Vaseline, or there's some methyl silicones. There are things that have mineral spirits or alcohol or something like that. This doesn't. It's just straight silicone, so it's not going to hurt the O-rings. And you know, and it helps. It'll help with the seal, and it'll help them slide in there and out if you have to take them back out. So we're going to put this together and see if it works.